Hello everyone, welcome back to another weekly fragrance rotation. All these fragrances that I wore this week, they're all beast mode performers. This particular one that I wore Monday, it started off as a hate. When I first got this, I couldn't stand it because it was a little bit too sweet. A friend of mine wore it and a co-worker wore it. And I'm like, that smelled pretty good. I asked them what they was wearing and they told me this, so it surprised me. So I'm like, maybe it just works different on everybody's skin. I put 3 on the chest, 1 behind each ear. And a funny story is that I got next to this guy and I asked him, I'm like, man, you got on some smell good today? That's what I call fragrances, smell good sometimes. He's like, no, man, that's you. I walked around, I carried on about my business and I kept smelling these whiffs. I'm like, this is pretty nice. So, long story short, if you wear this right, it covers up a lot of the sweetness and you get a lot of that woody notes. And that fragrance is Hermès Amber Oud Gold Edition. Now when you first spray this, you're going to get some green leaf notes. You're going to get some bergamot. And then about 10 minutes in, you're going to get some heavy notes of fruits consisting mainly of melons, pineapple. So it's going to get real sweet and fruity. And then in the base, you're going to get some spicy amber along with a little touch of sweetness from the vanilla. Now this is sweet, it's fruity, it's also spicy. You wear it right, you're going to love it. Now I did a previous video on it and I was talking about how sweet it was, but I think when you wear it under your shirt, it hides some of that sweetness and you get a lot of that amber notes, you get a lot of the spicy notes, so it makes a very nice, fruity, masculine fragrance. Now I'm kind of torn whether this is masculine or unisex. I think it's unisex. Might lean a little bit masculine, depends on how you wear it because it's very sweet. But under your shirt it hides a lot of that sweetness. So Monday I wore Amber Oud Gold Edition. I was very surprised. It went from a hate to now I really love this fragrance. Now on Tuesday, I kind of stuck with the theme of Hermès because they make some nice bargain fragrances. Well, not really bargain because I think some of their fragrances are kind of on the mid hundreds. So I stuck to this theme of Hermès for the first 2 days. So on Tuesday I wore Hermès Rouge. Now this is a sweet, woody fragrance. At the top, when you first spray this, you're going to get a heavy dose of saffron. Now, a lot of Middle Eastern saffrons are kind of scratchy, kind of harsh, but Amber Oud Rouge, the saffron is real bold, it's smooth, and then in the middle of the fragrance, you're going to get some jasmine. You don't really smell the jasmine, but it kind of gives it like a floral aspect. And then in the base, you're going to get some amber, you're going to get a sharp cedar, and then when it completely dries down, you're going to get this musk. Now this is very sexy, it's bold. It's a copy of Baccarat Rouge 540, but this is lovely, man, for the price. So if you're out there looking for Baccarat Rouge 540, if I were you, I would instead go with Amber Oud Rouge, almost identical. I mean, the saffron is nice, it's spicy with a little sweetness. Very nice scent that I wore Tuesday. Hermès Amber Oud Rouge. Now coming up on Wednesday, I decided not to keep going into Hermès, but I kind of wanted something kind of spicy. So on Wednesday I decided to wear Journeyman AMOUAGE. Now this is a very spicy, smoky fragrance. At the top, you're going to get a heavy blast of Sichuan pepper. So you're going to get pepper and you're going to get some more spices from the cardamom. Now that combination is very lovely. So it's very spicy at the beginning. Then when it dries down, you're going to get some frankincense that makes it very smoky. You're going to get some juniper berries that add some more spice with a little touch of sweetness. And then the base, when it completely dries down, you're going to get a heavy dose of oud and you're going to get a little bit of leather. Now this is very spicy, have a little sweetness that's coming from the juniper berries. but it's spicy with that pepper, sweet with the juniper berry, and then that oud and leather just makes it a very masculine scent. The first 3 fragrances that I wore, they're all a beast mode performing fragrances. You're gonna get at least 10, close to 12 hours on all 3 of them. Very nice fragrance. If you can afford it, get your hands on AMOUAGE Journeyman. Very nice, sexy, seductive scent that I think you would enjoy. Now coming up on Thursdays, I decided to dive into a cologne fragrance because when I first got this fragrance a long time ago and I sold it regretfully, it was one of those first oud fragrances and people wasn't wearing oud then, so I sold my bottle. I heavily regret it and it became discontinued, so I had to go out and buy a clone of it, and that clone is coming from the House of Dior D7. Now this is a clone of M7 by Yves Saint Laurent. That was a polarizing fragrance when it first came out. A lot of notes of almost like cherry coke and oud. Now this fragrance is oriental, it's woody. Now when you first spray this, you're gonna get some citruses, mainly bergamot, and then in the middle of the fragrance you're gonna get some vetiver, you're gonna get some rosemary. That creates a vibe, kind of smell like a Coca-Cola vibe. Then when it completely dries down, you're gonna get a heavy dose of agarwood. Now this is a very sexy, seductive scent. It's very unique, polarizing. You get that cherry coke vibe with a lot of oud, a lot of woods. Very nice scent from the House of Dior D7. Now on Friday I decided to switch it up a little bit, and I decided to wear a Chypre. And the Chypre that I decided to wear is from the House of GUERLAIN, MITSOUKO, the EDT version. Now, I had the EDT version and the EDP version. The EDP version is a whole lot better than the EDT version. It's more fuller, it's more richer, it's kind of more dense. Very nice Chypre. I plan on repurchasing that because I end up selling it again, one of the fragrances that I sold and I really regret it. But in the meantime, I got the EDT. Now this is a very spicy Chypre. When you first spray this at the top, you're gonna get some citruses, followed by some ylang-ylang. They give it kind of like almost a floral, citrusy vibe. And then in the middle of the fragrance, that's when you're gonna get some peach to give it some sweetness. And then when it completely dries down, you greet it with oak moss, you greet it with vetiver, and you also get some spicy and sweet from the cinnamon. It's marketed towards women, but to me, I think a man can pull it off. I wear it, smell great wearing it. It's very nice Chypre, man. House of GUERLAIN, MITSOUKO. Check it out. Very nice Chypre, spicy. The oak moss makes it where a man can wear it. So it's a very nice scent. Don't be intimidated from wearing a female fragrance because this and the EDP are very nice fragrances. If you can, get your hands on it or either test it if you're intimidated by it. But a very nice fragrance, MITSOUKO from the House of GUERLAIN. Now for the bonus, my old lady, she wanted to go out and she been asking me to wear this fragrance because I did a video on it. She said this is one of her favorite fragrances. And the cost I paid for this was like $26, $27 on Triple Traders. And I think it's around that price now. I'm telling you, it's a no-brainer. Well, at least she loves it. She says it's one of her favorite out of the whole collection that I own. And I'm telling you, get your hands on it. For that price, you can't lose. And that is Wourou Bois d'Arabie. Now this is like a woody fragrance. When you first spray this at the top, you're gonna get some lemon, you're gonna get some lavender, then in the middle you're gonna get some sweetness from the vanilla, then you're gonna get a blast of patchouli. Now this is nothing loud. You get about 8 hours on it, and this is a nice fragrance. When we was in the car, she asked me what I was wearing, and she forgot she had been asking me all week to wear this fragrance, so I decided to wear it for her. So we went into the restaurant, ate, got back in the car, And she was like, man, that smelled good. Because when she turned on the heat in the car, because it's very cold out here in Georgia, she was like, man, that smelled good. So I'm telling you guys, I wore this out Friday night as a bonus. I'm telling you, if you can, get your hands on it from Triple Traders. I'm telling you, man, this is one of them fragrances. Very woody. It has every note in it that I love in a fragrance. So that's why I bought it. I haven't heard anybody doing the reviews on it, but I'm telling you, I did a review on it. You can't beat it. $29. Women love it. At least my old lady love it. But I think all ladies love it. It's kind of soft, but at the same time, it projects off you. And I'm telling you, nothing else need to be said. Get your hands on it. Thank me later. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed that review. Please take care of yourself. See you soon. Peace.